Now, Simon Wall, what are we doing here?
It's not a very large scheme, it's a very simple scheme. Designed by our town engineer Patrick Corcoran, but it's essentially just restructuring the existing terrace that was on into two separate sections, and really trying to reduce the amount of maintenance in terms of flowers that had to be planted on it and shrubs in the past. So we're reducing the amount of planting beds down to just green slopes and splitting it from a single terrace into two terraces, so there's more areas where you can sit out and enjoy the view downtown. And one of the important aspects of the scheme is on the very upper level, we're widening it into a flat area where seats and benches can be, which gives you an upper level, almost like sitting in a treehouse looking over the town from an elevated perspective down onto the Mall. So it's another part of the scheme is to create a set of steps. There's a natural desire line where people come through the centre of the Fairgreen, and that's been happening through the shrubs and the bushes, but we're going to formalise that by putting in a series of steps as well, which will be made of natural granite, which will allow the flow up and down between the new terraces, where there'll be seating for people to look out over the town. So it's not a complete new design, it's just tidying up what's there, reducing the maintenance and increasing the area for people sitting out in the sun.
Okay, was the original Fairgreen much different in this, what's here at the moment now?
Just from the original photographs, it was just a flat area of mud really, where on fair days cattle and sheep were traded. So it was a very wide open space that wasn't defined. But I believe in the 90s it was completely remodeled into what it is today, and planted out in a green area with a terrace overlooking the town. And the works we're carrying out at the moment is just a small variant on that. It's not a very big job. We're trying to reduce our maintenance, but it's still looking very well, and trying to increase more flat areas by creating an additional terrace for people sitting down and looking out over the town.
Do you think by the shape of it now you could make a concert centre out of it?
Well, it lends itself more naturally to the music festival, which happens where the stage is down beside the Mall there, because there's more terraces now for spectators looking down. So in itself it's more of a natural amphitheatre now than it was in the past.
And is the concert going to happen this year?
I don't know. I'm not aware of that.
I'm not sure
yet.
about that. But it certainly looks ideal to have a concert.
Yeah, it's more conducive as a natural amphitheatre for a concert now than it ever was before. Really.
So you have big smarter travel plans going on in the town at the moment?
Yeah, we're in year 2 of a 5-year, $5 million spend, and so we've created a lot of new greenways in the town in the last year and a half. The Great Northern Greenway, linking probably about 30% of the town's residential areas together to complement the Key Greenway, which links about 60% of the areas. And by the time we're finished at year 5, we'll have 95% of all the residential areas linked by greenways in the town centre. So people can go from house to house without meeting cars, but safely as pedestrians or on bikes. That's part of our smarter travel infrastructure.
Is there much more to be done with Westport?
Oh yeah, it's never finished. Town is never complete. It's a constant, organic, evolving thing. Despite it being made out of finite things like bricks and wood and windows, it's actually very organic, and the people that live in it and how they expand it into the future.
A lot of things have happened in Westport in the last 10-15 years, haven't
they? A huge amount. Like as Frank McDonald was saying in the Irish Times, in terms of the country, it's gone through the biggest building period since Georgian times. Like the Celtic Tiger and the Section 23 tax designation in Westport, we'll never see that sort of infrastructural investment again in our lifetime. It's something that happens only every 5 or 6 generations. And the last Celtic Tiger period was the Georgian period, in which Westport was constructed and built and conceived.
But the building in Westport has been good, positive stuff.
It has, by and large. The Celtic Tiger, despite it being a negative story nationwide, has been a very positive experience for Westport. That's because the development was harnessed and we had a plan beforehand, so we knew what to do and had to harness that investment that came in. Not only did you have the Celtic Tiger, but you had Section 23 tax designation, which was acted as catalyst to that building boom. So it was a very potent period for Westport in terms of expansion and development and rejuvenation of itself as well in the town core.
You had some say in that, you did?
Well, I was part of the team over that period, but the Team Westport is everybody. It's not only the town council, it's the Chamber of Commerce, it's the Tidy Towns, it's the hoteliers organisation. The beautiful thing about Westport is everyone pulls together as a team. And of course, most importantly, one of the key players is Westport House itself, the people who created the town the first day.
You were the first dedicated town architect, are you?
That's right, Ollie.
Yeah, he made a little bit of history, yeah.
Well, a very, very minor piece of history, but it was the first town in Ireland to have its own dedicated town architect as a municipality.
And who came up with that idea at the time?
I think the town manager at the time, Pádraig Hughes, was very keen on architecture. He always loved architecture himself. And we seemed to strike a chord when I started in Mayo County Council, so he took me over for a day a week to assess planning applications for their architectural merit. And we seemed to get on very well, and that increased to 2 and 3 days a week, and he made it into a full-time position. And it was perceived to be a success over that period, and it was emulated, that system, in terms of having a town architect also in the other 2 urbans in Mayo, Castlebar and Ballina.
So obviously it was worthwhile doing.
Well, I would like to think so.